So I learn from what I observe, from what I see repeatedly, constantly. I learn by other people's mistakes so I don't make the same ones. You can tell me something from sun up to sundown. If it's not something that I want to hear, I'm not going to listen. I learn from what is caught, not taught. Ain't nothing wrong with you, just remember you're special. Feeling hopeless and alone, just remember there's always God there to be there to help you. Put in effort, make mistakes, no one on this earth is perfect. Trials and tribulations both in life are guaranteed, but in the end it's all worth it. I'm hoping and I'm praying this is something relatable and the words are beneficial when someone out there can understand what I'm saying. Mind, muscle, motivation. Let's stop playing. Share it with the nation. What they do though, you already know what time it is. It is mind, muscle, spirit, motivation. Hey, I'm relaxed. I'm about to go on a rant, but for good reason. I want to talk about we learn the best, I believe, when we are catching things, not necessarily being told. So in other words, we learn from what is caught, not what's taught. Just like a baby, you can tell them all day long, trust me, I know this. You can tell them all day long what to do and what not to do, and they're going to do it. So in most, if not all cases, for me, all cases, my son, he learns from what he sees. I work out all the time, so he works out all the time. And I know I have a lot of work to do because that's not all there is in life. But that applies to adults as well. And I think it applies all throughout life because you're going to learn from what you see. And I think in this day and age, especially we learn from what we see. We're always on social media. We're always in front of the TV. We're learning that. What we expose our minds to when it comes to what we see, we're learning from that. And a lot of people don't even know, but they're doing that, good or bad, because they're exposing themselves to it every single day. It's a mindset change or shift, in other words. I'm an observer. I've always been my entire life. My spirit animal, I've said it before, I have two, an owl and a wolf. So I try to learn by other people's mistakes. Boy, do I try to learn from other people's mistakes. When I'm told something, depending on what it is, it doesn't stick. I don't talk to enough people to be told the right thing. So I look, I observe. Two eyes, one mouth. So I see so I see one more time than what I'll speak. So if I see you doing something repeatedly over and over, I'm not going to put my 2 cents in. I'm just going to do the opposite. I'm going to try to learn from that. And that's what we as people, that's what we're doing. So some people are hands-on. Some people can watch. And I'm an hands-on type of individual, but I also learn from what I see. I've been like that my whole entire life. And you that's watching this, you may learn something by what you're hearing, because obviously you're not going to learn from anything by what you see me just sitting here. But say you're at work, right, and you're listening to this podcast, and something I talk about, it sticks to your mind, and you so happen to see it. You so happen to see whatever it is that I'm talking about. It's because it's stuck up here, and now You're seeing it, so there's a lessons learned. There's a lesson learned behind it. Caught, not to be taught. I heard that today, and it stuck with me. It stuck with me so much that I had to talk about it. And again, going on a little rant. And of course, I gotta always put my examples in whatever it is that I'm trying to talk about to get you and I both to learn about. So, of course, in the Army, of course, you got to be hands on. But first, they make you look and watch, right? So, when it comes to shooting a gun, I know that may be a little violent, but it is what it is. You look first. You look. You look how to shoot, take off the safety. You learn how to clean your weapon. All these things. You learn first by looking, watching, and then you get hands on. So when it comes to teaching, from now on, me personally, I'm not going to sit here and scream at my son all day. No, I'm going to show examples first. And it may not be the first time, it may not be the second time, but doing it constantly and repeatedly over and over again, he's going to learn just by looking. When we're outside, I mean, since he was probably 2, when he first was able to start walking, we would go outside and we would pick up dog poop. And he would first watch me because he couldn't pick up the shovel. But he would watch me as I'm getting the shovel and I'm getting the rake. I'm putting it on. I know that may be a little too much. Just get a piece of plastic paper, pick it up. No, I'm not about that. But he would see me doing that. And then before long, he would get the rake. He would start scooping that poop up on my shovel. And then I would dump it in the dumpster. Now he does it by himself because he's watching, he's observing. When I told him to do it, he was just shoveling up dirt. He didn't know the difference between poop and dirt. But after a while, he was watching. He saw what the poop was. Now he knows what it is, and he'll scoop it up, put it in the dumpster, put it in the trash. Same thing with leaves. At first, he thought leaves was grass. He was telling me not to, or he wasn't telling me, but he was trying to get all the grass, so he was trying to rake up everything. But then, once I showed him what was actually leaves, he knew what leaves were. It's very simplistic, but we forget. We're always trying to tell people stuff. We're always trying to teach people things by telling them verbally, forgetting that physical watching is probably the best way for somebody to learn. And, that's why the whole term, we got to learn the hard way. We don't have to learn the hard way. We just got to start showing examples instead of just screaming and yelling and writing these long messages to our friends and to our loved ones, because obviously it doesn't stick enough. If you're doing it over and over repeatedly and they still don't learn, you can tell somebody to duck from a box and they don't duck. They have to get hit. They have to see the box coming and get hit, in other words. And then they'll know. They'll look up and see if a box is coming. It is what it is. There's really not much to there's really not much more to put into examples and context. It is what it is. Caught, not to be taught. Apply it to everything and try to put it to use to everyone. Your kids, your loved one, hell, even yourself. You don't know how to mow the lawn, straight, not crooked until you see somebody doing it. For years as a child, I would watch my dad cut the grass. He wasn't going off fast, he was taking his time. And those lines were about as straight and parallel as it gets. And just today, I took my time. Boy, I got that grass looking about as straight and parallel as I ever have. I'm serious, because all the other years and all the other times I would cut the grass, I would be in a rush. And I would always wonder, is it the lawnmower? Are the wheels off track? Do the wheels need some kind of alignment? No, I needed my alignment. I needed to take my time and pay attention to what I was doing. So once I saw the first go through, I knew to turn and get right beside it and get that thing in alignment with the other ones. Boom, 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 boom. Caught, not to be taught. I can tell myself to cut it a certain way, that's not going to stick. But when I look at other people's grass and how they cut it, in the direction and in the way in which they cut it, I do the same thing and I get the same results. Caught, not to be taught. It's mind, muscle, spirit, motivation. Like, subscribe, share. Let's continue to build a community. Better yet, let's continue to build a nation of people and of individuals and families and everything, animals, hell, who want to learn, grow, and get better together forever. And until next time, y'all, we out. Peace.